Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
This is Real Talk with George and Fraser. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Back to back shows, man. Look, we sitting here doing it. We got another banger today. We
Yeah.
have Mr. Vernon Middleton, aka I see it here, the Louisiana Wolf.
Woo!
No doubt.
Salute. It's a pleasure.
What's going on, brother?
Welcome to Real Talk.
Living life, man. Living life and enjoying, living in the moment. You know, taking care of my kids. Got a lot of things going on this year, man.
Definitely,
Nice.
definitely. We appreciate you on the show, and give the listeners a little bit of your background.
Well, I'm an artist that was born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana. Left there in 1998, moved to Texas. I was a smart child, went into the streets. Got about in Texas, you could say, I started working a lot. This dream of mine didn't really come true until I moved to the Bay Area. And I moved there in 2018, enrolled in college, and then, like the Bushwick Bill song, it was ever so clear what I had to do after that.
Right.
They showed me a lot of love in the Bay Area, a lot of support. So that was the motivation right there.
Absolutely. We just had an artist on last night from the Bay Area, DDJ, who was with us. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So tell us a little bit about your journey in getting there. I mean, look, I'm in New Jersey, Fraser's in Florida, but everything I hear, Texas is really not built for people that look like that. Can you verify that?
I would say that's somewhat true. That is somewhat true. My experience in Texas, I got a lot of love. I'll say when I jumped off the porch out of high school, I indulged in the wrong thing. Like a lot of youngsters do when they don't have like the proper guidance. Okay. So from work, I indulged in, and I'm an honest man, I always haven't done the right thing by myself. So due to drug addiction and alcoholism, I turned to the street. I got out of that, I'll say, around about 2005 when my son was born. My first son. I literally started going to work a lot, and from there, like I said, that dream of being a rap artist, it still wasn't clear yet,
Right.
Hung around some of the wrong people, and got in a lot of trouble. I can say that. Not big trouble, but I was the type of guy that did a lot of stupid, mischievous stuff, So I would go to jail for the most random things, and I ended up learning my lessons through all of that. I'll say having the right people in my corner at the time, and holding on to, I'll say, some value lessons from people in my early age that kept me from succumbing to jumping off the deep end into the street life.
Right.
So leading all the way up to now, I'll say I was a family man, dealt with a lot of family growing up, family background. My children, I'll say, is my motivation. First was my son. He's always been my biggest fan from the jump. He told me a long time ago, Dad, you can do this.
Right.
But I didn't believe in myself,
Right.
due to not having the right motivation from my inner circle. A lot of people didn't know that I had this talent. A lot of them. I would sing, rap around people, close friends, etc., etc. No one knew that I had this talent. It was overlooked. And due to our environment and everything going on, it was just overshadowed. Life kind of takes people, once you start taking care of children, you start taking care of a lot of people, sometimes time loses you. And you can't get that time back. And that's why I'll say now my movement is that if I can give anything to the youth, that would be to chase your dreams early. Don't wait till you get to an age like myself, which is nothing wrong with that, because in the end game, you want to be satisfied with your life. You see what I'm saying? So if kids can get anything out of my movement and my story, is that if a guy like me could change and be prosperous at it, then there's a silver lining through all of that darkness that we go through.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely. Let me
so
let
yeah,
me
you were saying.
No, I was going to say, let me unpack a few things there because I wanted to go back to the beginning of your conversation where you were talking about drug and alcohol addiction. Was that in your parents where it came down to you, or were you physically addicted to drugs and alcohol and your son pulled you
Well,
out of that?
well, I'll say what really pulled me out of that was knowing that I was better than the drugs I was doing.
Hmm.
Everyone that was literally around me, I'll say they wanted the best for me. They knew that I was effing up. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? They wish me the best, but sometimes when you deal with mental depression,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, you try to find a way out.
Right.
And tragedy hit me at a young age. What brought me to Texas was we get a phone call in Louisiana. I'm about to enter freshman prep at ULM. I enrolled in there and it got accepted there. Due to me having excellent grades and scoring really high on SATs. I was allowed to go there, but I didn't go because I ended up transitioning, going to Texas. We get a call saying that your grandmother's going to pass away. That's all
Mm,
right.
mm,
Oh wow.
So, literally that month of December, we drove down there, packed off in my cousin's van. He had an Astro van, which is very popular in the 90s.
that's right.
We piled off in there. We went to Texas, ended up saying our goodbyes one by one, and I fell in love with Texas. I fell in love with Texas instantly because from in Monroe, Louisiana, everything was pretty much segregated.
Yeah.
Whites hung with whites, blacks hung with blacks. You didn't have a lot of Latinos. You had Orientals, but it was segregated to the point that even in the 90s, to where people of color only dealt with people of color.
Right.
Even at school. You know what I mean? So when I get to Texas, I'm exposed to all these cultures, not just whites, not just blacks, Latinos, Orientals, people overseas from African countries, et cetera, et cetera. And it blew my mind.
Hmm.
All these people are intermingling. So I just fell in love with it. And the pay rate was a lot better as well than Louisiana. So I took to Texas, man. I mean, I couldn't help but to. It's the neighboring state. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I had family already there. But due to that mental depression, I ended up not going back to Monroe, Louisiana, and further in college. And also during that same amount of time, I ended up losing a lady that was in my life. She
Hmm.
died of lupus, and very special gal. She was very young, passed away. I was dating her, so due to losing her and my grandmother, I fell into depression and then fell into alcoholism and drugs.
Okay.
Wow.
Um, that's a lot. A lot of times we don't have outlets to help us. And,
Right.
even when I was younger, I'd be like, well, this little blunt right here is not going to hurt me. It's natural. Plus, I got
That's true.
stress. That's
That's true.
always the excuse. I got stress.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
And
so true.
I realized that the amount of money that I was spending on nickel and dime bags was real money after a while, and you calculate it out. But
When
the
you
most
add it
important,
up, when you
yes,
add it up, it becomes a nice penny.
Yep.
yeah. But the most important thing that I realized that I had to jump out of it was the fact that, look, I still feel the same way after I come down from the high.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And a
Like,
lot and a lot of people are literally chasing that first moment when they
Yep.
do drugs. I've
right.
heard a lot of people say that they chasing the first high when they first got high. I still
Yep.
have family members. I won't say the names. That still suffer from drug addiction and alcoholism. You know, I too myself, I smoke cigarettes.
Right.
I've been having a hard time letting go of that cigarette. You
Right.
know, I'll say the drugs that I was addicted on, and I don't endorse drugs, period. But I'm an open book, and I love to tell people my story because so many hard drugs that I indulged in that I ended up beating
Hmm.
Exactly.
because I knew my self worth, which was cocaine, to pills, opioid addiction, to I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but I think in some areas they probably call it PCP,
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
heard that.
embalming fluid, yeah, embalming fluid, sherm, whatever you want to call it. I suffer with that as well, right along with the alcoholism. But I found myself literally right after everything made sense, and I promote mental health wellness. That's like my drive right now. I'm very big
Right.
on it, and I have a foundation that I'm attached to, the Suicide Prevention Foundation, and I actually have a birthday charity going on right now. So if you guys want to donate to it, anyone out there that's looking, watching, if you know anybody who's been afflicted by mental health, depression, anxiety, whatever the case may be. There's a number that they can call, even if they can't donate. They can call and they can get the help by a confidant. They don't have to know this person don't have to know
Right.
them. If they don't
Right.
want to find somebody within their inner circle that they can vent out to and unleash all those inner demons.
Exactly. True. Well,
You know,
I'm gonna
because
go back a little.
a lot of them don't have outlets.
That's
Right.
true. I'm gonna go back a little bit. See, like mindset where you say you came from a small town and you move into a little bigger town. And you say you're like a culture shock. Like whoa, like
Oh, it's a major culture shock.
so. I say like to some people that could be a greater influence of peer pressure introduction also to that new environment because it's not the same way as in Louisiana versus you in a big city where more cultures. People are like, hey, try this. It ain't gonna hurt you. Or try this. It won't bother you. It's more
Well,
peer pressure.
it wasn't really peer pressure with me. It was more of me trying to find an outlet from all the pain that I was dealing with. You know, not only
Hmm.
did uh, those important people pass away, they were very important people in my life
Yeah.
at the time. You know, and then
Right.
if you flash forward a little bit further, before that, I dealt with inner struggles within my family, you know what I'm saying, finding acceptance, you know, I will also say my mom, she ended up going to jail at some particular time, around about 15, 16, and she had to do like a little bit. And that's when I turned to the streets a little bit, but not all the way. I was still in school, but I was, doing things to take care of me and my little brother. And instead of, I'll say, the older people
Right.
and some of the older veterans in the neighborhood should have been like, you know what, this ain't for you. You see what
Exactly.
I'm saying? You're a bookworm. You know what I'm saying? I never really got that. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So coming from where I'm from, you got all walks of life. You got people that work, you got this, you got that, street people, and the ones that was very influential that said, hey, that's not good for you. Hey, don't do this. Passed away,
Right.
or moved away. You know what I mean? So I had my brothers, but they wasn't in tune to what I was dealing with. I'll say inside. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like
Right.
all that pain, I literally just bottled it in. Is I found drugs to be outlet, which wasn't a good thing because I lost a lot of years behind them drugs. A lot of years that I can't get back. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Absolutely.
So
I mean,
I dwelled off further and further in the drug addiction. And then when my son was born, I started just like, you know what? I had a purpose. I'm a father, you know, because my first daughter before him, I didn't have a chance to raise.
hmm
And that's due to conflict between me and her dad and his view of black men, and
Yeah.
I'm going to just throw that out there. You see what I'm saying? So I never was able to raise her. So I was already in daddy mode. And when my son was born, I just like, you know what? I'm gonna start just kind of leaning away from all that bad shit. You know.
well, let me ask you. Frazier and I are both business people, and you said something in the beginning that hit me right here, and hit me right here in my chest. That a lot of people don't realize is in certain areas, people of color and people that look like us don't get paid the same or even up to equitable. We get paid pennies on the dollars, while our white counterparts get paid dollars. And
That is true.
you said in
That is true.
Louisiana it was very segregated, but even the pay was different. So I just
That is
think
true.
I need to confirm this, not just put it out there.
It's still the same way. It's still
Okay,
the same way. It's still the
right.
same way. People of color, um, is still getting underpaid.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of jobs. I'll say blue collar jobs
Hmm.
available for. I'm not gonna say the black women because the black women, the women of color in Monroe, Louisiana, they go get those nursing degrees, et cetera, and they're gonna get their job. But there's a very small vast of men that actually have decent paying jobs,
Hmm.
and the pay rate is still, I'll say, not where it should be.
Right.
So you have a lot of people that move out, that move to other states for opportunities because of that.
Right.
That's true. Now, I'm gonna say the same thing too. I agree with you because I visit Louisiana. I visited a certain part when I was on a college tour, and I was like 14, and we went to a little diner. And when you walk in the diner, like everybody turned around, like, "Oh wow, whoa, black people, whoa, what's going on here?" Like you can actually feel the tension in the whole room. And then when the waitress comes up, she says to one of the mentors that we don't serve blacks here, not a large group that is. So we said,
Yeah.
"What's a large group?" And she said, "You guys are over the capacity of 6. If you're over the capacity of 6, we don't have enough room for you for our real paying customers."
Oh
So,
wow.
so you asked her, "What do you mean by real paying customers?" We know bald blacks don't have jobs to pay for the food we serve here because our rates are pretty high compared to what other stores down on the street, a diner down the street is. So if you don't mind, you can go down to a diner down the street where it's much cheaper and more fit for your pocket.
Yeah, and
So
that's a very bad scenario or picture painted by that
yeah,
lady. That's not accurate. Okay, but that's the treatment that people get down
yeah,
there. I've growing up, man. I've been I had to bear witness to quite a bit of racism. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have. I think
yeah.
we all have. I like my grandmother's from Florida, and she always said when she left, she never go back, and she never
it's
went.
sad that it's still an
You
issue
know,
in 2021.
you
Yeah,
know, and
It's sad as a people that we still literally in the same place where we started in 2021.
yeah, no doubt about it. But it always struck me that she, the intent on her face. My mother, growing up there, used to hear and see about the violence with black people and how the truant officers used to go under the building and pull the kids out, and I mean all kinds of stuff that happened that traumatized these kids as they were kids that would seared
Right.
into their mind as adults.
It's imprinted. It carries on into their adult life.
Right. And I'm saying that to say every time I go to Florida, like if I take the kids to Orlando or everything like that, I always like to make them make sure that I'm not from there. So when they ask where you from, I'm from Jersey. Okay. I'm from Jersey, you know. And I even had one time, I said it in a way that was kind of slangy. They was like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "From the bricks, son." You know what I mean? Like, "What?" You know what I mean? And he, and he, and
Oh
he,
wow.
and he looked at me. He was like, "Well, we ain't gonna hold it against you." And I was like, "Wait, hold on. Was he trying to say something slick to me? You know what I'm saying? Was he trying to say something slick to me in front of my kids, or was he just
Yeah.
being, nonchalant about it because I caught him
yeah,
off guard? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
But
some things you don't have to read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer of a lot of things we let go of our head, but the obvious is the obvious. There's
that's
right,
no there's no there's no reason of trying to sniff out the elephant in the room. It is what it is,
right,
exactly.
and it's one of those things to where do you take a stand at that moment and you fight against that type of I'll say treatment at all costs,
Yeah,
right,
and that's literally my movement right now. Due to that one little small infraction that I have right now that I'm going to deal with soon.
yeah,
But I'll say that literally with my movement, and the reason why I became a rapper first and foremost. I turned on the radio one day and I heard a song, and my daughter was singing that same song.
Mm-hmm.
Very inappropriate. Very inappropriate.
Yeah, that's true.
So I made it upon myself, like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make some music that my daughter can actually be proud of.
Nice.
You know, like
Nice.
I have literally music for different walks of life, for the children, for the teenagers, for the adults, and a little further on. You know, so I made a point with this movement of mine to where there's gonna be a lot of questions. I'll say that I'm gonna have to answer as far as the controversy with my music. Because
Mm-hmm.
people are gonna be like, okay, you have violent undertones in your music. I'm just literally speaking on how I came up to now. You
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
that has
Just
always
because,
been us. That's always been our crutch. When
Yeah.
people say gangster rap, you can't talk to people about gangster rap when you are slammed up against the car, when you got your pockets wrung, when you were a teenager, you get slapped in your
yeah.
head. You know, that's
So
what I lived.
yeah.
Exactly.
So that's literally I'll say the impression that I'm trying to give.
Hmm.
I'm using literally my voice as a tool instead of some people would get angry and they go out and they venture off and indulge in more violence. No, I'm gonna
Right.
shine. I'm gonna shine a light on literally. I'll say the culture as a whole. You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Because as I told you guys before, the message of literally the violent undertones of my music is pretty much like what Tupac said. I'm not a killer, but don't push me. I'm
Right.
literally tired. I'm literally tired to the point to where I don't like looking over my shoulder thinking I'm gonna be headhunted or because this person is envious or jealous because of my movement. I have to
Right.
protect myself at all costs, first and
Right.
foremost,
Exactly.
Right.
against any threat, you know. So a lot of people are gonna question, okay, you rap about this in your music, but you're not living that way. That is so true.
Yeah.
Just because I rap about this and the environment that I came up in and the things I've seen doesn't mean that I have to be still stuck in that life.
Exactly.
That's
That
You
right.
is
see?
It doesn't disqualify you. Your experiences are your experiences. Think
It,
about it. If a country western singer sings about a broken heart or something that happened or X, Y, and Z,
yeah.
people appreciate that and say that's his
Exactly.
history. But if you
right.
talk about you've been, racially profiled or detained illegally or had your pockets run or even got robbed, they're going, "Oh, he's glorifying this." You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Glorifying a
I'm
happy
just I,
life.
I'm literally just shedding a light on what's wrong within the community and culture as a
Right.
whole.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Like even though I was in the streets, I didn't really make it a career. I
Right.
never wanted a career out of it. It was
Right.
something that I'll say that I was doing mostly to vent out or I needed to feed somebody.
Right.
You
Exactly.
see what I'm saying? I felt like at that point I didn't have a choice, but I had other choices.
Hmm.
But that
Exactly.
comes with me being accountable for the action that led all the way up to now.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So it's literally what I want to do with this movement of mine is that I want to shine a light on literally how we treat each other within our community because it all starts with self.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, we can't save the world by ourselves. You see what I'm saying? But if we take care of ourselves, we love our fellow brother, sister next to us, it'll illuminate to others.
That's true.
And we can't fix a problem if we don't realize what the problem is.
That's
That's
right.
true.
That's
That is
right.
true.
You know? So everyone has to be held accountable at the end of the day. So I held myself accountable, and now it's like to the point where I take a stand against anything that's not right.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just point blank period. I like if I see something that's not right and it's within my means or it's somebody I care about, I'm going to voice it. I'm going to speak out on it. And if it comes to a point to where we can't find a common ground, then I just leave that person alone. I can't deal with that negative energy.
That's
You
true.
see what I'm saying? You can't save no one. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of help them and kind of guide them to the truth, but it's up to them to actually see it. You know,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, even in business, a lot of times, like I said, there's a lot of people that come for help, but it's just like, okay, I'm giving you the steps and I'm giving you the outline, but you're not taking the steps that I'm giving you to complete what you need to complete.
right
What
to
you
be
want,
successful in life.
right? What you want me to do is do all the work and then hand it to you, and that's not real life. You know
No,
what I mean?
That's literally piggybacking off your work ethic.
That's
pretty
not
much.
real life. So let
That,
me ask you about your music, since we're on that
Yes,
topic.
sir. Yes, sir. Let's get
And
to the juicy stuff.
yeah, segue to the music.
All
Um,
right.
you being new to rap, and your career and everything of that nature, what's your thought process like? How many songs are you determined to sit down and write? I know with COVID, you can get a lot done because of lockdown and this, that, and the third. But what's your creativity process? What's your distribution outlet and things of that nature that you're putting in place right now for your
Well,
music?
as of right now, I'll say what motivates me with this music is literally, I'll say my upbringing. I'll say what's going on within, I'll say the culture today globally. There's some tracks that I have that I don't know if you guys heard yet. World War.
yeah,
Um, awesome track. You see what I'm saying? I put a lot of emotion in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't watch TV, but I had been hearing this on the radio. Whenever I turn it on, people telling me about the injustice within the community and culture, and I'm just sick and tired, and that motivated me for that song. But in all honesty, guys, I don't write none of my lyrics.
Nice.
All 20 tracks released. Actually 21. I haven't fully released it yet. I'm still working on it. But all tracks have been done literally by freestyle. I call up my guy, DOB Studios, wonderful guy here in Columbus. I call him up and I say, hey man, I need to come lay some things down and just go up in there, and it maybe take me about like 2 or 3 takes, and we get it done probably like less than an hour's time. But what motivated me, I'll say musically, I'll say, and it's that old 90s form of rap. I
yeah,
love it. I love it. That 90s, early 2000 rap, I love it, man. I'm talking about from the Nas's to the Pac to the
yeah.
Easy K to the Big Mike to the KRS-One, to the Mobb Deep, man, I was all around the board. I was that little skinny guy growing up, man, listening to Bobby Brown, literally in the mirror doing the routine.
Nice.
Nice. So everybody did that Bobby Brown in the mirror now.
I had to fade, the little slant fade, all that. You
With the
know what I mean?
gummy. Oh man, he's telling on
The
himself,
little, the
y'all.
little Gumby,
Telling on
like
himself, y'all.
I even sported a freeze, man, in high school.
Oh man.
Oh, I don't know how you put that one though. I don't know how you pass that.
Man, they was rocking that in Monroe, Louisiana. You'll be surprised how many of my relatives then stepped up to one of the females in the family and said, hey, can you put this styling gel, this brown thick styling gel in my hair and put the finger waves in it?
Oh
Oh, that's
man.
true.
I
I'm
was,
talking about, I'm talking about looking like the 90s five heartbeats.
Oh man, I can dig it.
Yes,
I can
sir. Yes,
definitely
sir.
dig it.
Yes, sir. And rocking it too. I'm talking about rocking it very well.
Oh man.
I'm sitting here picturing that right now. Like, well,
Hey, just imagine me a lot skinnier, no facial hair. You know what I'm saying? With a finger wave. Yes, I was
like,
rocking
my
it.
heartbeat.
Bro, hold on now, Fraser. I'm from New York, so I'm trying to tell you, son. Did you rock the little velour with the shoes too on it? You know what I mean? With the set too. You know what I mean? Come on now.
yes, yes,
Oh
that's
man.
what literally influenced the style that I have right now. That '90s form of rap, that southern jazzy, funky. That's literally what I submit out, man. And I don't listen to a lot of the new wave music because I don't want to be influenced by the new wave
Yeah.
music. Nothing against those guys. More power to them. Get your money. But at the end of the day, the music has to be more than about a dollar.
That's
Right.
true.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask you a question because you made a good point. You say you go in and you don't write it down, you freestyle. That's a new
Yes, sir.
style that were actually created more in the 80s and 90s where people really didn't write down a lot of stuff. They just laid it down.
That's
so
true.
they laid it down. I had one guy who come to my studio and he rehearsed nothing. He'll go in there, bam, give me a track, lay it down,
and get it done.
Get it done. No, one take. Get it done in one take. No. And I asked him, what are your motivations? He said, you know what? When you're dealing with so much stuff in life, writing don't need to write it because it's already there.
Right.
Yeah, it's already there.
You just got to put it out. And see, a lot of times when he started him talking to a counselor or going for a psychologist, whatever, he used it as output. He just laid on track. Whatever bothered him, he let him about his baby mama, relationship, had issue with his mom. He just laid it on the track. He was telling me all the time, I'm gonna lay my life on the track, and if everybody love it, they feel what I'm telling them, and it's how my life will revolve around their life and the world.
Right.
The things that I learned in the psychology courses where I was attending Los Madonnas College in Pittsburgh, California, that was literally the motivation for me starting my music career, because it literally all happened around about the same time. 2019 was the attempted, back to that. 2019, Christmas Eve, due to mental depression, I attempted suicide. Yes, I had a big moment in my life due to not having my children in my life, legal situations, inner struggles with close family members, trying to find my way, trying to find my acceptance. I tried to kill myself due to drug overdose. Yes, Mr. Vernon Middleton, that Louisiana wolf, tried to commit suicide. But immediately after that, December 24th was attempted suicide. They had me at Sutter's Hospital in Antioch, California on a suicide watch. Well, immediately after that, maybe like a week later, I got to reflecting on how I ended up in that position. Then I started holding myself accountable for that. Then I enrolled in college. That was me wanting better for myself, that I may do better for my children. Right. So I enrolled in Los Madonnas, started taking college courses, counseling courses, and a lot of things that I learned within that class was the human nature. What makes people tick, why they do this, why they do that. So I ended up holding myself accountable for my actions leading up to them. What I allowed people to do to me. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of times, it's not the other person's fault.
True.
It's our fault, because there'll be breadcrumb trails and red flags. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Leading up to bad experiences.
Right.
So I had to hold myself accountable and not blame this person because this happened. Not blame this person because that happened. So with doing that was a reality check. And then I ended up boosting my confidence more, loving myself more. And then I ended up finding my talent one day. I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot.
Right.
I heard that song on the radio. My daughter was singing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to make some music that my kids will be proud of.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. At the end of the day, leave my mark and my stain on the world for generations, even after my children, their children. So that led to the birth of that Louisiana wolf.
Nice. So are you obviously doing independent distribution? Who are you using for independent distribution? DistroKid, who are you using?
I'm using DistroKid is one of my distribution accounts, Reverb Nation, and ASCAP.
Okay. Nice.
And how is you're just using social media for marketing?
Yeah, I've been using all of my social media platforms for marketing. I've been targeting audiences from the beginning. I've been going running ads and promotions through Reverb Nation and as well as Facebook. I have a business page, Wolfpack. They run ads and promotions for me. Instagram as well. I haven't did Twitter yet. I'm still kind of fairly new to Twitter. I just recently downloaded this app called Loom. Okay. And it's for independent artists as well. It's a big platform for producers. You can exchange information as far as features, if you want to buy beats, etc., etc. A lot of great talent on Loom. And as well as I do promotions with certain people on Instagram. I have my music posted on their page. Spotify playlist is I'm probably like well I was on 4 or 5 of those.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And
Now, what
two
about
mixtapes. Yeah, 2 mixtapes last year with DJ Young C, not to cut you off. Um, yeah.
nice? Now, how about your publishing? I know you do a lot of freestyle, but do you have to go back and remember what you wrote so you can submit it? You know what I mean? Like,
Actually, this brain right here, it's like a computer.
nice.
You know, once I spit it out, once I get it on wax, I literally got it. You know, I can perform that song over and over again, instrumental. You know,
Nice.
like my brain is like a person's mind sponges a lot. You
Right.
know,
Very true.
and since I don't do all of those crazy drugs, alcohol, and stuff like that anymore, I hold more information.
Nice.
So by doing so, I'll say for instance, I did a coast to coast performance in Atlanta at Whiskey Mistress. I performed one of my lead singles off of Howlin' at the Moon Volume 2, Pray For Me Mama. Killed it. Killed it.
Nice.
You know, I didn't come in the top 3 contestants, but I had a solid performance.
Right.
You know, but that's due to my work ethic. You know, like even before the performance, practice. You know, I'm always rehearsing these songs, and I don't listen to a lot of artists, and I listen literally just to my music. So it's easy for me to just sponge that in.
Nice. So let me ask you. So if you have a young person who actually have a similar style to you, that somebody probably told them, hey, that's you gotta do it wrong way. You gotta write it down. You gotta write it down. Like, what tip can you give them, like, to encourage them to follow their dream and do it their way, not somebody else's way laid out for them already?
Right.
What I would say for that young man or that young lady is trusting your craft, trusting yourself. You're gonna have some people that don't believe in your craft, but for the people that do, perfect that craft for them, perfect it for yourself, because you're gonna end up growing a fan base. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of independent artists that's not backed by labels, etc. You're gonna grow those slowly. But for those fans, you perfect that craft for them, and you perfect it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because everything ain't for everybody.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And what might not work for this person may work for this person. Everybody's not gonna buy into your movie. You know, just trust and believe in yourself.
Right. Let me ask you, how has COVID hurt or helped you? Have you pushed your music online and done some of the online concerts that we're starting to see on YouTube or things like that? Or has it given you time just to come back and reflect, say, okay, I have to do this or do that? And the reason why I ask is because it was because of COVID that it gave me the opportunity to complete my books and publish them. You know what I mean? And it just books that I had on the shelf, like I said, for 15 years. I just put the manuscript up and I was like, I can't deal with it right now because I got life. I got kids, I got a wife, I got businesses, I got all of this. And it was like when they were like, skirt, you got to stay in the house for, you can't do anything. It was just like the Lord was like, what about them books you got on the shelf? And I'm like, I'm not dealing with those, man. I'm like, I don't even know how to publish a book, and
COVID right now has, I guess, been a humbling experience for everybody. It's one of these sit down moments. It's a make and break for anybody right now. It's kind of like one of those only the strong survives right now.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna do with yourself when this happens? So when COVID hit, I took time to literally really focus in on my craft, like 100%, because it's giving me time to be hands on with the children, small things in life for me to actually focus without being disturbed by the outside world.
Exactly.
Yeah. Having to be busy. My wife is mad.
It's been keeping me busy. I can tell you that. COVID, even though I'm stuck in the house, I'm still busy.
No, I can dig it. I'm saying, my wife is an essential worker, so she always had to go to work, and she's always going to work.
Right.
But she always think that I'm home sleeping all day, and I'm like, well, how can you write books?
My message. That's my message.
How can you write books How can
He's
you
in the
do
medical world, and he has that same mentality.
how can you write books? You're cooking for the kids. You come home, your food is cooked, your laundry is done. You know what I mean? I'm
Exactly.
evaluating real estate properties. I'm consulting. I'm doing all that stuff. But I think what it is she's egged on and she got feelings because every time she wake up, I'll be in the bed like this.
Guys like us set our own time frame.
That's right.
Our office is literally either our phone, our laptops, our computers. That's our office.
Exactly.
So if we're in the living room, we're in the kitchen. No matter what part of the house you're in, you literally can work.
That's right.
That's
You
on
know.
the other side. So I had to go work and want to go work. So when they told me I had to stay home, I'm like, this. Really?
Yeah.
I already got a house. Oh man. Let me sit back and relax a little bit. I started thinking, and you know what sad thing is? You be surprised what's on your mind when you got nothing but time.
That's right.
That's true.
I mean, your mind stuff you be like, stuff you had was 20 years ago, start popping up in here like, remember that thing you want to do with that? Yeah, try that. Another thing you want to do with that? Try that. Then you like, how am I do it? Then your mind kicking in. Oh, go here. Go here. I mean, it just give you some stuff. And it goes on and on. You be like, how do you stop it?
when you have time like we've been having,
Yeah.
it brings out the creative juices.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Exactly.
And I sat there and I was just like, funders, financiers, partners, just all these things that came into my mind that I put in the back, and I was like, I don't got no time for that. It
Yeah.
just started coming and coming and coming. You know what I mean? And it was a good thing because what it actually made me do was it actually made me stop and delete. Okay, that doesn't need to be there. That can go. This needs
Right.
to be
Yeah.
this that. You know.
It makes your processing procedures a lot more better and efficient.
Right.
That is true. That's so true.
So back to you.
That's
You know, you are with this organization and you're donating your time and you're consulting people. Um, do you have a lot of people that approach you online because of your story and ask for support? I don't want it to be like, say, mentoring, but just I know we had a guest on here a couple times where he was just like, I was playing my music online. I forgot his name, Frisch,
Mhm.
and at that moment on Instagram, somebody was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm getting ready to commit suicide. And he was literally playing his instrument online,
Mm-hmm.
getting this message. And I'm like, for a young kid at 22, 23 years old, that's heavy. How do you
Yep,
deal
that's
with it?
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm
I
46
haven't,
years old and
I
I don't
haven't, I haven't had the opportunity to answer that call for anyone as of yet. Um, the foundation that I'm attached to as of right now, I consult with the people within the offices, and I haven't had someone reach out to me as of yet. I've had people on Instagram that tell me inspiring things like, "Man, because of your live, I'm having a better day," et cetera, et cetera. And I give them very kind words of motivation and inspiration, whatever it takes to make sure that they succeed throughout that day.
right.
And I always give them the option to follow up with me. Like I'm never gonna be that artist to the point to where if I see a problem and I have the ability to help that person through my voice, I'm not gonna not help.
Right.
But I haven't had a chance to answer that call yet. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen one day, and I'm gonna be ready.
That's true. So let me ask you a question though, Mike. Taking the wolf now, the older wolf now versus the younger wolf. If you had to go back, what would you tell that younger little wolf, that little cub who was just trying to get in there? What would you tell him?
I would tell that young wolf to hold your head high with confidence, take this world by the horn, and conquer it.
I'm giggling.
That's what I would tell young wolf, and I would tell him that it's gonna be a bumpy road ahead of you.
Yep.
But you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right.
I'm giggling because that reminds me of the little story of the young bull and the old bull.
That's My son is a young bull right now. I got a 15-year-old that's 6'5", man, and every now and again he want to bump chest with me. Young bull mentality. I like, look here, boy. You know,
That's
no
right.
matter how old I get, he never gonna be able to beat the old bull. Never.
Right. That's right. That's right.
No, that's so true.
Oh man, I definitely appreciate
I
you.
got a talented 15-year-old man. He did the album cover for Howling at the Moon Volume 3.
Nice.
Talented artist. So I'm very hands-on with him and his sister. But yeah, he's the young bull, definitely.
No doubt. No doubt. How do you cultivate that talent? I mean, because a lot of kids see it one way. You know, my son plays basketball, so he thinks he's going to the league. You know, and I'm just like, well, there's a lot of other things besides the league, like coaching, assisting,
Yep.
you know,
Right.
management, other things. You know, and it's very competitive to get in the league. But at 13, he knows he's going to the league. So I'll see how far that goes, and I'll support that. I know you just
Right.
said your son is a graphic artist and designer. You know,
Hmm.
how do you keep pushing that? So, you know, is he just happy in his space, or you know, one day will he have his own graphic design company that you know works specifically with people like us in our communities to help get our brands out? I'm just spitballing and throwing things out there because
Well,
I
that's
like
literally
creativity.
that's literally what we've been grooming him for. He has an excellent support system. Everyone supports his art. Ever since he picked up a pencil and paper, I'll say around about 7, 8 years old, he's been studying. He's been watching a lot of videos. Um, he's a sponge when it comes to that art. Okay. My thing with him is, and that's like any other kid, like you said with your son that wants to play basketball, thinks he's going to go to the NBA. I tell my son all the time, it's okay to be a talented artist, but you want to get your school curriculum back with it. You'll be a double threat. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to let the school curriculum be on the back burner and you mess around and you get old enough and you can't read contract properly. You
That's right.
can't crunch the numbers properly. You see what I'm saying? All of these things you're gonna need to sustain in the professional world. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay if you want to be an athlete, if you want to be an artist, but get that school curriculum underneath your belt.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Made me too. I was a Millway speaker. It was interviewing Kobe Bryant, and they asked Kobe Bryant, when you were going on, he said he wasn't a great player. He wasn't all that. You ever had a plan B? He said, "What's the plan B?"
A
I
lot
said,
of them don't know they plan B. A lot of them don't know that.
exactly. He said he know what a plan B was. He know what plan A was. I will do what I take to get in the league. However it will be, I'm going to play ball professionally. If whatever.
Right.
Now he stuck with it. He said he worked
And
that.
that may not work out because the number of them making it to the big leagues is very high. A lot of them don't know that. You know.
Whatever he says.
Yeah.
So he did what he started looking for niches. What made me different? What made me stand out past the rest of them? He said he learned his basketball IQ. I tell
Right.
I coach everybody. The difference between a player and an athlete is a player is average. Anybody can be a player. To be an
Right.
athlete, you learn your craft. You master your craft. You master
You
every.
perfect it.
You perfect it. You perfect the ins and outs, the X and O's. You're not a football player unless you know the playbook. You can't say I'm an actual athlete.
That's true.
Or I can't read the playbook. Because we know at college,
That's
I
true.
was a friend, one of my athletes who went to college. He says, "You know what, coach? You taught me so much stuff at a young age. So when I went to college and actually saw a playbook, I was laughing. Everybody was like, dude, that playbook huge. Man, my coach told about all that there. It's all a very simple thing. It's a 4-4, 4-5, 5-3, 6-3. All that is in one book, all in one play. It doesn't
Right.
base. Now all the other things you're talking about, you add extra stuff to it. Coach looking like, how old you again, son? I'm 18, sir. You know what, son? I'm gonna you on the side with me. You let my little player coach over here, and he started grooming him to be a coach. So ask for a plan B. He ain't trying to get a plan B, but guess what? By him thinking that mentality and learn his craft and be able to perfect his craft as an athlete, not just a player, he opened opportunity for other. You really never know. Plan B don't come to you, it's not mentality, but Plan B comes out of nowhere. Opportunity.
Right.
If he doesn't happen to make it, he got a job at coaching. And what people don't know is if you're an intern coach in college, a player coach, that count as hours as a coach. You go exactly out of there and go coach for high school, even did an internship at the school you graduated from.
Right.
As
That's
a
true. That's facts.
you know, so and what to beg you say is you always understand to teach them opportunity. What tell the parents opportunity. You never know
Mhm.
when it comes, how it's gonna come to you. Just embrace it. And
You got to make the best of it, you
Yeah.
know.
exactly.
But
Absolutely.
I've been encouraging every child that I run into. It's okay to be an athlete. It's okay to want to sing. It's okay to be all of this. But what is wrong with being a lawyer? What is wrong with being a
Exactly.
doctor? What is wrong with being a scholar? There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And that's literally been my promotion because I have some youngsters that's inspired by me and my music career. Are like, oh, I want to be a rapper. You know what, son? That's fine and dandy, but not everybody is gonna make it in this rap world. You see what I'm saying? And what are you gonna do if you don't make it in the rap world? What is gonna be your other option? It's okay to soak up all that knowledge while you're in school. It's okay to advance to college and get a degree under your belt. Because at the end of the day, if that rap don't make it or being an athlete don't make it, what you gonna do? You
Yeah.
know,
No doubt about it.
you're
We've
gonna
been.
have to sustain in life.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've been told so long, like the rap industry has such a bad rap to it simply because we glorify material things. You know,
Right.
our
That
mind,
image of power and greed.
right? Our mindset is so minuscule that kids looking up to us, we don't say it's okay to be a judge. It's okay to be this person. It's okay to be a lawyer. It's okay to be a doctor. We only talk about the minuscule things that we can get and put in our hand and in our pocket. And I always say this, you know, as a culture and as black people, we are either number one or the number two spenders of wealth in this country. We
That
wear
is true.
we
That's
wear
fact.
everything on our back. We wear
That's true.
everything on our back. But our counterpart teaches their kids about investment from the time
That's
they
true.
put an allowance and put it into savings.
Equity.
Yep.
Yes, they teach them about equity. They teach them about interest. They
Exactly.
teach them. So when you have an 18-year-old of a colored person that looks like us and his counterpart, the counterpart is smart because the counterpart knows about the stock market
Yep.
and
Right.
compound interest and returns.
Yep.
18-year-old knows about Nas and knows about this person
Yep.
and that person.
It's like
And
a tale of two worlds.
there it is.
You
Yep.
There it is. You know,
Exactly. It's true.
and we
It's
just have to do better. We have to do better with our
we
youth.
have to.
You
We
know,
exactly
have to.
that's true,
That's
man.
what I was saying. Holding yourself accountable
Yep.
and it illuminates to others. Like literally everyone that you embark in on life, people don't understand how much that one moment in time
Mm-hmm.
could either help somebody or
Yep.
break somebody.
that's
You
right.
That's
see what I'm saying? And
that's true.
and a lot of I'll say adults that suffered from a lot of things, and a lot of them still. And I'm not just gonna blame the youth. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's a lot of middle-aged people within our culture and community suffering from mental health. You
Yep.
see what I'm saying? And you know how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or
Yeah.
maybe this person is stuck in their ways, et cetera, et cetera. We got to start breaking those kind of chains.
That's
Yep.
right.
You know,
Right.
there's no such thing as that the way that they are today can, I'll say, depict how they are tomorrow. Change is within all of us. I'm living proof. You
Exactly.
see them?
Oh yeah,
I'm
no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Look, if you don't change, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. You know
Exactly.
right.
what I mean? It's just like in martial arts. If
Mm-hmm.
you're always in moving, you're going to stay in motion. The moment you stop, you're dead in the water. You
You're dead
see,
in the water. You're dead
and
in the water. And that's
right,
facts. I trained to be a mixed martial artist with Michael Johnson in Arlington, Texas. Awesome guy. Um, I couldn't afford going to the classes because I was dealing with some legal issues at that time. I was facing my first felony. They ended up dropping the charges. Called it no bill, no evidence. But I couldn't keep up with the payments, which were they were cheap. It's just
Yeah.
right.
I couldn't afford it. But
Every
that's
little time.
literally what he taught me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I'm saying that to say that we get in this mentality because I was the same way. When I got my rough patch with my marriage, I tell my wife, I'm built like that. I'm not going to do
Yep.
something. I mean, and that was just excuse because I didn't want to be inconvenienced. I didn't
Right.
want to have to make that extra effort. I felt like everything that I was doing or bringing was enough.
It was like a form of a defense mechanism.
Yeah,
Exactly. But obviously wasn't enough if she wasn't satisfied with it and she was angry. You see what I mean? At that and the third, but I just was stubborn, you know.
yeah,
Right.
And in order for us to grow, you have to break that. I mean, because look
You
at it
have to
this
break
way.
those things.
I'm gonna
Most
finish
definitely.
with this. A lot of people don't understand that Warren Buffett, the one that everybody talks to and listens to in the entire world, he didn't make
Hmm.
his first $1 million until he was 50 years old.
yeah.
So, I got a
That's,
chance. I'm 46, so I can still get that
that's,
deal. You know what I'm saying?
you still got some time,
Yeah,
man. You
man.
still
He
got
did
some
that
time.
since he was 50, you know?
True.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
But I told the old man
That's a very inspiring story too.
exactly. You know,
Appreciate
the old is a saying. Still water can't do nothing.
That's right.
Add change.
That's
You got
right.
to tell it, water, still water now become ripples. Ripples now become life. Every
That's
ripple has life behind it. A ripple
That's
is
right.
bigger, smaller, even bigger, and it takes you somewhere. Every ripple goes somewhere.
That's right.
that's
You know,
true.
right?
That's
So
true. Every ripple goes somewhere.
it goes somewhere. And I tell you, if you still life as a still water, it doesn't change anything. Black coaches have stayed in still water for how long? Century to century. Would not allow anything to drop in to change. Now 2021 come around, you see how our counterparts react to certain things, and so we're not the only one now getting picked. But for the first time in almost 42 years, I've heard a white person call another white person a thug.
Oh wow,
I
that is so
never
true.
in my life.
That
Thug.
it's an alarming number of those as well.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the way they call
Alarming number.
folks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
That's the narrative being painted right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Especially in hip hop culture, they took I'll say the narrative that they painted, they pretty much taken the fun part of the music out.
yeah,
Right. Right.
I
Right.
was growing up, we had house parties, we go there, we're gonna see a young lady we like, we're gonna pull her to the floor, we're gonna dance with her. Now it's like there's no more house parties, and when you go to the club, if a guy asks a lady for a dance, he's thirsty. You know what I mean? Uh, the narrative of the music ain't really too much fun. You know what I mean? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I'm giggling because you said if a guy asks a girl for a dance, she's thirsty.
Yeah, yeah. If, if,
A
if
lot
a
of
guy asks a
people,
lady for a dance these days, you're a thirst bucket. You know what I
you know,
mean?
a lot of people don't understand what that means. When they say he's thirsty. Oh man, it's too funny.
It took me a long time to understand what that thirsty was. Normally, when I heard it, and it wasn't directed towards me, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, maybe he need a bottle of water or something. I don't know. He needs some juice or something."
no,
It took for my nieces to tell me, "Hey, no, that means yeah." I don't know. I forgot how she told me, but it literally took that word and just really flipped my mind and made it to something else.
Definitely too
Now thirsty
funny.
is like I guess extra eager or I don't know what it really means these days. I try not to get too much involved into the new slang these days because it goes over my head a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, you man, you and me both. Listen, real quick, before we close the show, can you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at d.l well, Instagram d.l.w.357. You can find me at Reverb Nation, that Louisiana Wolf. You can find me on YouTube, that Louisiana Wolf. You can find me on Spotify, that Louisiana Wolf. Facebook, I have a page called Wolfpack. You can find me there. My Twitter, Louisiana Dat. You can find me on Loom as well. I'm actually got my music on there. So if anybody knows anything about Loom, you can find me there. Dat Louisiana Wolf. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my social media platforms.
Good.
so talk about the charities you were talking about earlier, the foundation stuff. Tell people how to reach out to you for that also.
Oh yes, you can actually follow, or you can donate, or you can leave comments, or you can call, or you can find me on Facebook. You will find all the information there. I'm actually running the foundation and the charity through Facebook.
Okay.
And what's the name of the charity, real quick, just again to remind us?
It will be the Suicide Prevention Charity. It has all the information there if you want to donate. If you Want to pass the number along to whoever may need it.
Well, listen, that's it. We greatly appreciate you. Check out that charity.
Oh man, that hour passed by super fast.
Oh yeah, check out that Louisiana Wolf, and we definitely appreciate you for being
I
on.
enjoyed you guys, man. I'm talking about.
Yes, brother.
It was a pleasure, man. I mean, have me on again, man.
Absolutely, definitely. We definitely appreciate you and appreciate what you're doing.
I love you guys, man. I'm telling you, man. And anytime you want to have me on the show, I want to answer the call, man, because I got a lot to touch up on, man. Y'all only scratch the surface of it.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it.
Your family now, so welcome to our family, man. We got a big family growing.
And y'all welcome to my wolf pack, man.
No doubt. No doubt.
That wolf pack is growing, man. I need some new, strong alphas.
Exactly.
We all alphas in wolf world.
That's right.
That's
we
right.
We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. All right.
Much love and salute to you guys.
Positive, brother.
No doubt.
Man.
An inspiring story. That was another reason why we had this interview. I know we did 4, sometimes we do 3, 1, but we try to get you guys the information that's there and that's relevant to this particular day and time. So we definitely appreciate him coming on the show.
Oh, definitely.
Check us out. We're going to have a whole new list of guests next week. So keep it coming.
Oh, yeah. More money, baby.
Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Frags.
And that was Real Talk with George and Fraser. Have a great weekend. And remember, I said it yesterday. I'm saying it again. Sunday, January 17th, be mindful. See something, say something.
Exactly. And remember, then we're going to happy birthday to Martin Luther King. We got to have birthday before we restart.
On Monday.
Yeah. We're going to say pre-early birthday prayer. We're going to get to early. We're going to be on Monday.
All right.
Peace.